Hey, it's Ron McLean. Welcome to Hockey Talk on the Rock.
With Laura and Keith.
It's interesting.
So let's back up a second.
He played absolutely out of his mind.
It made no sense to me.
And now, here are your hosts.
All right, here we go. We are back doing Hockey Talk on the Rock, episode number 88. And we're going to talk non-Canuck stuff again because there is nothing that I know of.
Nope, I don't think there's anything.
JT Miller is constantly trending, but there's nothing really to speak of. We're still in the dog days of summer, but we're going to catch up on a little league news, and we're going to do our standings predictions for the four divisions today. So, this is Laura, I'm Keith, and we're on Salt Spring. It is Monday, August 22nd.
Yes.
And we're going to start off talking about the only news, the big news.
The big shocker.
Yeah. Take it away.
Yeah, so last Friday, I think.
Was it Friday? Yeah.
Friday or Saturday? I don't know. I was at work and I started getting all these notifications that Kadri had signed not with the New York Islanders, but with the Calgary Flames. And again, as a Canucks fan who at the beginning of the season was kind of dancing on Calgary's grave a little bit, it sucks because they're going to have a pretty good team next year. I think Kadri and Calgary makes a lot of sense based off, again, if you think about like Huberdeau replacing Gaudreau, and then in some ways Kadri kind of replaces Tkachuk, even though he plays center, he's a little bit different, but there's some similarities with the games. I feel like he's going to be like a perfect Daryl Sutter player. I think he's going to probably do pretty well in Calgary. I don't know if he'll put up as many points as he did last year in Colorado, but I think he's going to be a pretty good fit for them, unfortunately.
Yeah, totally. Like we talked about, like Calgary has their window. Like it's pretty set, 2 to 3 years, especially with how old their team is. Like Kadri signed that 7-year deal. He's 32. 2 to 3 years. If they do it, good for them. I hope not.
Yeah.
But they're certainly going for it, and they made the best out of a terrible situation, losing like their 2 star players and then replacing them with like a star player and 2 very good players.
Yep. And I mean, again, I feel like it's going to be fascinating to watch Calgary because, like, they were so offensively good last year. I mean, they were defensively great, but you had, like, that top line that was so good together of, you know, Tkachuk and Gaudreau and Lindholm. And they've done the best that they can, obviously, in replacing those top 2 players, but it will be interesting to see, like, what the chemistry is.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, for our ranking, spoiler alert, I have them ranked pretty high, but like, there's a world in which I see them actually not being as good. Like, I feel like because everyone's saying that they're either going to be better or as good, like, maybe there's a world where they're not, but I think it's unlikely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And again, in 2 to 3 years, we'll see if it was worth it. They did give up some years, right, and mainly Tkachuk.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And they gave up their first round pick in the next move that we'll talk about.
Yeah, the Sean Monahan trade. I got 0.5 out of 10 on my hot takes already for this year.
Yeah, pretty good.
I called Monahan going in a trade to Montreal, albeit he did not get traded in a deal for Mike Hoffman.
Maybe that'll be the
deadline deal?
Well, I was thinking, like, you know, how it was for future considerations. Maybe there'll be something to do with Hoffman coming back. I mean, they'd obviously have to give up more, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Monahan went to Montreal with a conditional first-round pick, and we're not going to get into conditions. Like, you know, it's insane. It could end up being Calgary's first next year, or the first year after that, or Florida's first, or if Calgary's first and third, or Calgary's first and fourth.
Yeah.
It's all over the place. Montreal's getting a sweet pick basically out of the deal
for taking on Monahan.
For taking Monahan for a year.
Yeah.
He, like we talked about, their center depth isn't crazy, so he'll probably get some ice time and could have a bit of a bounce back year in Montreal.
Yeah. It's all to do with his health, right? Because I feel like he was a good player not that long ago, but he has had health issues and he hasn't looked good for a bit now. So obviously, again, Calgary had to pay to get rid of him, but they knew they were getting Kadri, so they went for it. And it was the deal that was rumored to be on the table from the Islanders. I mean, I have no idea if it actually was, but that's what everyone was saying, was that it was going to be 7x7. So, like, the term and the money, to me, don't surprise me.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he cashes in on what was a very good season, but it's not like a tremendous overpay for Kadri. I don't think, I mean, obviously, again, as he ages, it's going to look worse. But when you consider the fact that, like, yeah, like Duchesne and, you know, Johansson are both making $8 million or whatever, and it will be interesting. I'm not going to say for JT Miller, but actually for Bo Horvat to see, like, what happens with him for the Canucks, because I could see him signing something similar to that with, again, maybe a little bit more money added to it.
Or maybe like the 8th year.
Yeah.
And it would be right around 7.
Yeah.
But yeah, from everything I heard today, because Lou Lamoriello has been doing a bit of interviewing,
Yeah.
he basically said he couldn't move out the money to make the deal happen.
Right.
Which means he wasn't willing to pay the price.
For sure. Yeah.
So, his loss, I think.
Yeah, his loss, for sure.
Because they're kind of in their window, too.
Yeah, I find both teams, I said to you, very similar. I mean, I think Calgary is more talented. I don't think it's, like, on par, but there are similarities between those two teams, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Calgary gets rid of Monahan to make money room for Kadri, and yeah, now they're a better team than we thought they were going to be, which as Canucks fans is disappointing.
Yeah, and I mean, props to Montreal. I do feel like they're trying to do this rebuild like kind of the right way. And I mean, the other news I guess that came out was it sounds like Price's career is over.
Yeah.
Which sucks because he was, I mean, arguably, but it's not that hard of an argument, the best goalie of his generation. He played the whole time in Montreal for, you know, teams that didn't put up a lot of points in the other team's nets. So it kind of sucks, but he did very well, obviously, for Canada internationally, and he was a very good goalie. So it'll be sad if this is the way it ends, but it really does seem like that last playoff or Stanley Cup push for Montreal 2 years ago kind of did end both him and Weber. Like, that was the end for both of them almost. So
the only thing I'll say is I would put him as one of two goalies that are best in that generation, just because Lundqvist.
Sure, I actually forgot about Lundqvist. Yeah. No. Again, he's up there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So moving on, you want to move into the Atlantic since we're talking Montreal and do our predictions then? Sure,
sounds good.
Okay, you lead off this time.
Bottom to top?
Sure.
Okay, so I have Montreal in the basement.
Me too.
I feel like, again, they're going to do their best to be in the lottery balls for Bedard at the end of the season.
Yeah.
In 7th, I have Buffalo.
Me
I
too.
just don't see them getting that much better. In 6th, I have Detroit, and I flip-flopped with this one a little bit. And then 5th, I have Boston, so I'll say those two I think are interchangeable.
Okay.
Kind of. 4th, I have Ottawa, and this is the one where I'm like, this is kind of my hot take. And this is contingent. I think they end up getting Jacob Chikrin, and I think they're going to improve that defense. Because, again, I feel like their forward group, their top 6 specifically, is, like, very good.
Mm-hmm.
Very good in the league. But their bottom 6 is okay, and then their defense is lacking. And then I don't know what Cam Talbot has, but I just put Ottawa in there. In 3rd, I have Tampa. In 2nd, I have Florida. And in 1st, I have Toronto, which, again, I flip-flopped with. But I just feel like, kind of similar to Colorado, they don't need that good at goaltending to win.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that they'll end up winning that division this year.
You kind of took one of my hot takes.
Okay.
Because I said that Ottawa was going to get Chikrin, but then I said they were going to ultimately miss the playoffs.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I had Montreal 8th, Buffalo 7th. I put Boston 6th.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like with their long-term injuries and like Bergeron and Krejci being old, I feel like they're going to fall behind at the beginning and have a hard time getting back in.
Yeah.
5th, I got Ottawa. 4th, I got Detroit.
Oh, wow. Hot take.
I know. I'm buying, like I said, like Chicago last year, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid Detroit just because they added some good players.
Yeah.
Kopp and Perron and et cetera, et cetera.
And their young guys are getting better. I can see it.
Yeah, I'm going to go for it. And I mean, maybe their goaltending tandem of, Husso and
Nedeljkovic.
Yeah, I feel like they'll be good.
Yeah.
Then I got Florida. I feel like their defense got worse, and their forwards, I don't know, maybe better. But then Tampa, and then I got Toronto 1.
Yeah. I feel like Florida and Tampa could flop. Like, again, for me, I could agree with you, but I just feel like because Tampa's played so much hockey, at some point they're going to have a bunch of injuries.
Right.
So, I don't know. Anyway.
Okay, very similar.
It's very similar. Metro? You want to go first?
Sure. I got Philly at the bottom.
Yeah.
Then I got Columbus.
Yeah.
I found this division very hard to do.
Yeah.
Then I got Washington.
Okay, interesting.
5th, I got New Jersey.
Interesting.
Fourth, I got Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Third, I got the Islanders.
Yeah.
Second, I got the Rangers.
Oh, yeah.
And I got Carolina at the top.
Okay, ours are very similar.
Okay.
So I've got Philly at the bottom,
Yeah.
Columbus at 7th.
Mhm.
I have New Jersey at 6th, but I scratched them out. I did have them at 5th, which I have Washington. But I looked at their lineups one more time, and I was like, I still like Washington a little bit more.
Okay.
4th, I have Pittsburgh. 3rd, I have the Islanders. 2nd, I have Carolina. And 1st, I have the Rangers.
Okay.
Yeah, again, not really much to it. Just got...
Yeah. So, I mean, of those 16 teams, I've got Carolina, Rangers, Islanders, and Pittsburgh making the playoffs in the Metro.
Yeah.
And I've got Toronto, Tampa, Florida, and Detroit sneaking into the playoffs in the Atlantic.
So all exactly the same for me, except I have Ottawa instead of Detroit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, we'll see.
On to the Central.
Sure, sounds good.
Yeah.
I'll go this time.
Mhm.
Okay, I have Arizona in the basement still. I mean, this one was tough because Chicago, which, spoiler alert, is in 7th, is also really bad.
Yeah.
So I could see either one, but, Arizona, this is what they excel at. And at 6th, I have Winnipeg, and I flip-flopped with this one, too, because 5th, I have Dallas, and I thought those two could swap, but there's something about Winnipeg, I don't know. And every time I say this, they do the opposite. They're one of those teams, but I just feel like there's something stale on that team, and I'm not sold. But anyway, so you could flip those two. It's kind of a bit of cheating, but whatever. 4th, I have St. Louis. 3rd, I have Minnesota. 2nd, I have Nashville. And then 1st, I have Colorado.
Very different for us, other than the bottom two.
Yeah.
So I got also Arizona bottom, and then Chicago 7th. I put Minnesota falling down to 6th.
Ooh, hot take.
Yeah, I know.
I could see it, though, yeah.
Fiala out of town,
Yeah.
and then, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Winnipeg 5th.
Yep.
And then I kind of like some of the moves that Dallas made in the offseason, and I kind of have a bit of belief in Ottinger, too.
Yeah.
So I got them 4th.
Yeah.
Nashville, I got 3rd. St. Louis 2, but I almost put St. Louis 1 over Colorado. I considered it.
Yeah.
The thing there was Binnington for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's what I got there.
Interesting.
And then Pacific, I'll go. I got San Jose as 8.
Yeah.
Seattle as 7.
Yeah.
Vegas as 6.
Yeah.
Anaheim 5.
Yeah.
Vancouver 4.
Okay, yeah.
LA 3.
Yeah.
Edmonton 2. And Calgary at the top.
Okay, ours are almost identical.
Okay.
So I'll just run through them really quick. San Jose at the bottom.
Yeah.
Seattle 7th. Vegas 6th. Anaheim 5th. I have LA in 4th. And this one again, this was my homer pick. I have Vancouver 3rd. I looked at their lineups, and I just think, honestly, trying to be as objective as I possibly can, I think I take Demko over either of their goalies that they play. And I like the Canucks, center depth. Although, again, that's hard to say because of Kopitar and Deneau. But I don't know. I just like their forward group a little bit more than LA. So I'm justifying it. And actually, I almost think I like their defense a little bit better, which is saying something. Anyway, then I have Edmonton and Calgary.
Vancouver and LA were the two that I flip-flopped on the most there. So then I've got Calgary, Edmonton, LA, and Vancouver being playoff teams, and then Colorado, St. Louis, Nashville, and Dallas being playoff teams.
So again, very similar. I just have Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver in the Pacific, and then Colorado, Nashville, Minnesota, St. Louis, and Dallas.
5 in the Central.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Time will tell.
Time will tell.
So worst team in the regular season next year will be?
I think it's still going to be Arizona.
I think it's going to be Arizona.
Yeah.
And then President's Trophy winning team next season will be?
I'm going to be different. I'm going to say it's going to be the Rangers.
I'm going to say the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Okay, that was my second pick, but we'll see.
I almost went Calgary.
Yeah.
But I couldn't do it. I went Toronto. So that's all I got. So I don't know. Maybe we'll get around to putting a fancy graphic together. But okay, those are our picks.
Yeah.
And we'll find out in 10 months, 9 months, if
how
we're anywhere
awful
near.
We are,
yeah. Well, we did horrible last year, so time will tell.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that's all I got.
That's everything.
That's everything. All right. Well, that was it. A quick little Dog Days of Summer, episode number 88, Hockey Talk on the Rock. So thank you for listening. That's Laura, and I'm Keith.
Yay.